Hello and what is up? It's your boy Real_Joshua, and it has always been hard to create a video about budget One Piece decks because, well, it's always felt like pretty much the cheapest you could get a deck for is like 125, 150 bucks. And so I've always felt like a bit of a fraud because when people are new to the game, or at least when I was new to the game, I was thinking like sub 100, sub 75 bucks for a deck or something would be cool. But that was like basically impossible. But I am here to tell you, friends, that that is no longer the case. You can buy some of the best decks in this game for under $100. Some decks you could go bring to locals and probably win a local with for like 50 bucks or less. And I looked up the prices and like this is totally possible to do. This is going to be great for people who are just getting into the game. It's going to be great for people who are maybe looking to pick up a new deck but don't want to break the bank. And I hope you will get a lot of usage out of it because there's some great stuff on here. First off, I want to thank everyone for watching. Like and subscribe this video if you enjoy the content. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. On top of that, if you are looking to get a TokyoTreat this holiday season, don't forget to use the link in the description below when you're checking out and use my code RealJoshua at checkout for $5 off your first box. That really helps me out and the channel. Anyway, decks are way cheaper than they have ever been in this game before. And if you're looking to build something a little bit memey, something to kind of try on the side, it is perfectly reasonable to build a really good deck for under $100 these days. And so everything on this list that I'm going to be talking about is sub $100. Some of it is going to be sub 50. But yeah, let's get right into these decks. Okay, so the first deck that I want to talk about is Blue Doflamingo. Basically the B diff at this point, like one of the best decks in the format, OP09. This is the best thing out there pretty much. And you're almost always going to be able to get it for under 100 bucks. Here is one list from Limitless One Piece. I mean, this is like a pretty typical list for this deck, I would say. 4 Boa Hancocks, really where the big expense comes is in the 4 Jinbeis from OP07. Even those are going to be around, $7 a pop, which is not that bad for the most expensive card in your deck. If you can secure a couple bricks, aka the Dofi starter decks, for like relatively cheap, that's gonna cut a lot of the cost of this deck down. But really, it's not too bad of a deck, not too expensive. This version only runs 3 Peronas. I would suggest running 4 of those. I'm also big on the 6 cost removal spell, Gum Red Rock. But yeah, a lot of these decks, these are going to change. But this is going to be a pretty average price for this deck. By the way, limitlesstcg.com calculates the price of a deck when you put it in. They don't have the OP09 prices in here yet, so it's going to be a bit of a delay on here, but nothing in this deck is OP09, so you do not have to worry about that. Next, we have Marshall D. Teach, and Teach is another one of the most powerful decks in this set. What is crazy? Okay, so here's a list that I'm pulling up from a player called Lonely. It's like, this is a tournament placing deck from Japan, from like when OP09 was happening over there in Japan. So this is like a kind of early list. I'm sure there's been some progress since this, but it looks like a kind of like baseline deck for this. The thing is, the most expensive cards in this deck are going to be Laboon, which is an EB01 card, which as we discussed are inflated because that had a very limited run and they're not really being reprinted as much these days. Just for the playset of Laboons, that's gonna be like more than $100, okay guys? But if you take this list without Laboon, the price is $42, okay? If we were to switch Laboon for one-legged toy soldier, the deck is a lot cheaper. So what I would consider doing is like, if you're thinking of playing Blackbeard, maybe take this deck to locals with like a one-legged toy soldier. It's gonna be worse, but it's gonna be $100 cheaper too. And if you really decide that you love the deck and you want to keep playing with it, you can just grab the Laboons or something, and then you can go bring those to your regional or whatever it is that you want to take this deck to. Next on the list, we have Buggy. Here is a list from Real Steel. Again, another OP09 early build from Japan. There's likely to have been some changes in this list. Notably, a promo card is going to be dropping at some point. I don't know when, for this deck that will make it quite a bit better. The deck kind of sucks in its launch OP09 version, but here it is, and this deck is not actually $20, guys. It says $20 here, but like I said, it's not updated with the OP09 prices. That being said, all these cards are like $2 a pop. Like the SRs are like $2 and then everything else is like common or rare. So I would not be surprised if this deck ends up being around like 30 or 40 bucks. That's going to change once the promo comes out and you have to get that card. But I don't think it's going to be too much. We'll see. But yeah, Buggy, very cheap, looks like a lot of fun. Not very good maybe, but it seems cool, dude. It's a $40 deck, bro. Don't complain. Okay, next we have Belo Betty. Here is a list from Adam Murray. This is an OP 8.5 deck. It's probably gotten better from OP09, but the OP08 version, we're looking at 47 bucks, guys. Any improvement that was made in OP09 is not going to drastically increase the cost of the cards in this deck. So, I mean, really, you got 3 Monkey D Dragon in here. That's an EB01 card that is like a little bit more expensive, but it's still not that expensive of a deck. Highly recommend it. It's super fast, super fun. It was killing at the end of OP08. I mean, maybe not killing, but it was doing pretty well. So you could catch some people off guard with this deck, dude. And if you're getting into the game, like, it's a really good way to learn how to play aggro playstyle. Now, if you want to play not aggro playstyle, you want to play something a little bit more control oriented, we also have Boa Hancock. Boa Hancock is a great one to start building because A, she has a lot of overlap with Dofi. If you already have a Dofi deck or if you're planning to build one, half the cards you could just use for this deck, okay? Then you do have some cards that are going to be a little bit different. You got your Kaidos, but the super rare is literally $1 a pop. The most expensive part of this deck is going to be your Jinbeis, but Boa is so much fun. She's one of my favorite decks in this entire game, and she's supposed to get good in OP10. So if you want to start playing her now, you could be like, yo, I was on Boa before she was cool. I'm kind of biding my time until OP10 comes out, just playing with Dofi, wishing for my girl Boa to come back. I'll probably bring Boa to a couple of tourneys because I think she should still be pretty good, but she's looking like she's going to be around 71 bucks, around $67, $70 range, which again, guys, that's a PS5 game. If you're new to the game, like an investment of like 1 Elden Ring, come on, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. Okay, the next one, she's always been cheap. This has always been the budget recommendation. Well, I'll tell you what, Nami is still cheap. She still can get results. Here is a blue Nami build from, but I want to say that the OP09 build is still going to be pretty much the same, except for like running the new Nami. She can win tournaments. She's done it before. She will do it again. What else do I need to say? Except that she can be a kind of controversial deck, and if you bring her to locals, some people will not like you. I am not one of those people. I respect Nami players. I appreciate that they exist. They are usually not that good, and like there's a few that are really good, but maybe you could be one of those. And if you are, I think if you are a good Nami player, people hate you, but if you're not, like, people are kind of chill with you. But maybe you could be one of those good Nami players, and all I gotta say is it's lonely at the top, guys. So be careful what you wish for. Okay, and so to wrap this up, we have Yamato. Let's check out, here is Chan's Yamato list. This is a very unusual list, I will say, but it is very aggressive. It goes by a lot of the typical Yamato hallmarks, and it looks like it could win games. I think you're just like basically attacking the opponent leader with your leader and then dropping something big in the late game and grabbing a nice little trigger off life prior to that. Now you got the Nico Robin, which is really nice. The thing is, this build, guys, this shit's $22, okay? And Limitless is not updated with OP09 prices, but I just added those, and with OP09 cards, this is $26. A $26 deck. Am I doing something? Tell me if I'm doing something wrong here, but it's nuts. You could literally bring this to an event and like win. Now, you know, Yamato, there's probably better stuff out there, but I don't think it's going to be that much more expensive than this because Yamato is just not running the expensive cards. The only thing is, like, if it's running a Roronoa Zoro, which is going to be a little bit more expensive because it is a secret rare from OP06. But even then, a lot of the ones that are running it are only running it as like a one-of, and you could easily substitute it for something different. Just like put in another Hody, or like put in another like Darashi or something like that. It doesn't really matter what you substitute in, because aggro gun aggro, and it's probably more of like a tech choice than anything else, those Zoros. So you'll do well even if you don't run one of those. So yeah, if you have any other recommendations for, budget decks, anything that comes in at under $100, let me know in the comments. Share the sauce with everyone who is getting to the game, who wants to play like weird side decks. If you got a weird like, oh, I'm a Hanya ball player, you should check out that deck because it's super cheap right now, and you could catch people off guard at locals. Let me know in the comments. And again, folks, thanks so much for watching. I hope you got some value out of this video. I hope this was helpful. And again, Real Joshua, TokyoTreat. Check out the link in the description. Find me on Twitter at Hi There Josh. I'm on Twitch streaming at Real_Joshua. Thanks for joining, and I will see you in the next one. Later.